tell us your name, who you're with, and tell us what you talked about.
Ann Alley, City of Riverside. We were talking about taking out grass and putting in succulents that require less water in your front yard.
Okay. And right beside of you?
My name's Bill. I work for Dublin Santa Ramon Services District. I feel adamant we need to have mandatory no more median watering in cities and the state. Just let it go.
Okay. Great. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. A couple more. Let's do a couple more. Okay, wait a minute. They want him to repeat what he said. We couldn't hear you really well. Speak really loud into that mic. Hold it up close.
No, I'm saying no more watering of median strips. I go to work in the morning at 5. I go through 2 cities, and the roads are soaking wet.
Okay, great. Thanks. He lives in one of those cities, he says over here. Who else? Who else? Couple more? Got it. Tell us your name. He's got you. Right behind you, or they're both running to you.
All right.
You got 2 mics.
My name is Pam Willette. I work for the City of San Luis Obispo. And the Prop 1 is a great idea, but what I see all the time is this is all low-hanging fruit. We need to finally bite the bullet and get serious about recycling all the wastewater we have. Potable reuse, direct potable reuse, indirect potable reuse. If we use it over and over and over again, that's where we need to throw the money. And that's what we need to do for this crisis. Because we flush it down the toilet and billions of gallons go to the ocean every day of water that we could clean up and use again. We got to get our heads out of this toilet to tap poo fear factor. It's ridiculous.
And tell me your name again.
My name is Pam Willette.
Pam. So, if you disagree with Pam, or you have another perspective, I suggest you find her during a break and have a conversation with her. Or take what she has said and have conversations with one another. Jim, we're going to turn it back over to you now.
All right. Thank you. All right, moving forward, we talked about water or the lack of water. Now infrastructure. The facilities we rely upon to provide those services to our community. We had a program, and we were telling our community, wanted them to invest in water when we take water rates to them. We explained to them that they built it for us. In other words, we're relying upon infrastructure that was built many decades ago. As you saw earlier, 1920s and the 30s, dams were constructed in Santa Clara County. We realized that we're relying upon those systems that were built for our benefit. And we must rebuild it for the next generation, our kids that are going to be relying upon that same infrastructure so that we can provide those services into our future. We call it our investing in water. So we think about our community in Santa Clara County. We have a replacement value of our infrastructure over $4 billion. And we have a capital improvement program of close to $1 billion over the next 5 years to really upgrade those systems. And we have annual O&M of around $170 million to maintain those facilities. An example, here's one of our largest reservoirs in Santa Clara County, built in the 1950s, Anderson Dam, full of water right now. Of course, that's what a few years ago. It's pretty not that way today. We know we have seismic vulnerability with this facility. So over the next few years, we're going to be spending close to $200 million to upgrade that earthen dam to bring it to seismic standards. Because without that, we're subject to lower water elevations to provide for that water. This water stores local water as well as imported water for Santa Clara County. This is an area of our water treatment facilities. This is a 80 million gallon a day Rinconada water treatment plant located in Los Gatos. It was the first water treatment plant built in Santa Clara County. It was constructed and operational in 1967. In fact, prior to that time, there was no conventional surface water treatment plants in Santa Clara County. Potable water was all groundwater supplies. This is what it looks like today. This is what we hope it looks like in 2018 when we basically upgrade the system, add ozone treatment, new clarifiers, new filters, adding fluoridation, price tag over $200 million to upgrade this facility, and we're going to raise it from 80 million gallons a day to 100 million gallons a day. Was talking about a second ago, potable water reuse. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. We know that recycled water can help us fill the gap between our imported water supplies and the once-through water that we rely upon. And we realize that recycled water also is locally controlled. We can purify it through treatment. It's drought-proof. And it replicates that natural water cycle. Here's what it looks like in Santa Clara County, a graph that we put together that shows currently non-potable water is used for landscape irrigation. You see the totals there around 20,000 acre feet. And then you see what we're looking towards into the future. We see some additional growth for non-potable use, but we see the best potential to utilize recycled water purified is for groundwater recharge, or perhaps in the not too distant future, direct potable reuse, which is studies are underway statewide. Give you an idea about the wastewater in Santa Clara County. We have 4 wastewater plants. You see the totals there, about 167,000. This is dry weather flow. All those numbers are down now with the drought. That currently is treated in those systems annually. Then you see how much water we recycle. So the question was raised about doing more. We have a lot to gain there by using more of the wastewater as a purified water source. And so towards that end, we brought online last year our Silicon Valley Advanced Water Purification Center. It's an 8 million gallon a day system. I'll talk a little bit more about that. We use it currently to improve the quality of non-potable water in Santa Clara County. So we take 700 TDS water, that's the incoming secondary. It runs through this plant. It comes out of it at about 40 TDS. We then blend it with the purple pipe Title 22 water. We get about 500 TDS water for improving landscape irrigation. Water from this facility is used at the new Levi Stadium. Super Bowl 50 in February. We'll use water from this facility, and about 80% of the water at that Super Bowl site is recycled water. Pretty exciting. So what's the process we use there? Nothing new in Orange County. They've been doing this for quite some time. Microfiltration, reverse osmosis, and UV light disinfection. Some of those processes and what the clearances or the micron levels of those. It's pretty exciting to see that this technology is available to us. It's new to Santa Clara County, not new to this region. We've had many tours that we provide to the public to kind of expose them to this new technology in Santa Clara County. Great promise for us as we move forward. As we're thinking of moving forward, this is a map that shows some of the potential pipeline alignments that we're going to take water from expanding that same facility and bringing that water upstream into our recharge areas of Santa Clara County, both either through injection or through our spreading ponds in our county. As you saw in the earlier chart, we have about 400 acres of spreading ponds, and on average, we recharge about 100,000 acre feet through those ponds. Some of that can be converted to purified recycled water. So here's the water cycle that we see. Today, you see on the top there, you see the purple line that comes from a wastewater facility for non-potable purposes. Then you see to the right, you see water going through our Silicon Valley Advanced Purification Center in the blue. And then you see it tying back into the Title 22 purple line. That's what we're doing today. What we see happening in the not too distant future is taking that water from purification facilities and using it to recharge our groundwater basin. And then also shown on there is taking water and bringing that as incoming water to one of those water treatment plants I mentioned earlier, and then delivering that water to our community. 2 questions. Are we, and that's collectively we, your areas, investing sufficiently in our water and wastewater infrastructure? And then what additional efforts are needed to really maintain those facilities?